What's up? It's Kyle here from Noob Gains, and today I'm actually doing a review of one of the most popular beginner strength training programs, Starting Strength by Mark Ripto. And if you've been in lifting or have actually done any research on building muscle for beginners, you've probably come across Starting Strength before because, again, it is one of the most popular, well-known programs written. And the first thing I want to address is this program actually gets a lot of ridicule for it kind of being way too basic and that the progress is not actually good enough for a beginner. And one thing I want to address is who this program is aimed at. It is aimed at complete beginners. And I'm talking about people who may have never touched a barbell before, completely untrained noobs. And the reason for this is the way the program is set up, the way Mark set this up, is he wanted complete untrained lifters to make the fastest amount of progress in the shortest period of time and actually outgrow the program very quickly. So I would say it's not uncommon for this program to last maybe a few months. So 3 months, 5 months, around that time period, because he actually breaks it up into a series of phases, and each phase, he mentions, is only about 2 to 3 weeks at a time before you move on to the next one. And once you work through each phase, that's it. You're done. Program is over and you need to move on to something else. So this program does get a lot of ridicule in terms of people saying that they're not making good progress on it, and it's probably because they've already outgrown this very novice stage where they can actually recover quick enough to use this program. So if you hear anybody talking about that, you should really think about who they are, their experience in lifting, and compare that to your own. Because if you are completely untrained as a novice, this may be a very good program for you. So let's talk about the details a little bit. The basic premise of this program is keeping everything very basic and focusing on the core main compound lifts. So this includes squats, press, bench press, deadlift, eventually doing some power cleans in there, chin-ups, pull-ups, and even some back extensions, glute ham raises, things like that. Now, each of these exercises kind of follows a very similar set and rep scheme. The squat, press, bench press, and I believe that's it. The squat, press, and bench press, they all follow a 3x5, so that's 3 sets of 5 reps. The deadlift is actually a 1x5. I may have mentioned this before, but it's very popular in novice training programs to have the deadlift be only 1 set of 5 reps, only because the progress that you'll make from one session to another, you'll actually be adding more weight almost every single time, and you're going to need to recover quickly in order to do that. And reducing the deadlift, which is a very taxing lift to your central nervous system, reducing that to only 1 set makes your progress succession optimal. So that's not uncommon. The power clean, he actually has that at 5 sets of 3 reps. And I think the reason is because he's said before, Ripto has said before, that he uses the power clean as a display of explosiveness. So it's not actually used in terms of putting on more muscle on your frame, but in terms of improving your explosiveness. Because if you want to think of Mark Ripto, he is not advocating bodybuilding or anything like that. He was a competing powerlifter at one point, but he trains for performance. That is his overall mentality, and that's kind of what the Starting Strength program relays to you if you decide you want to do it. It is an ABA workout scheme, so that means you actually have 2 different workouts. You have workout A and workout B. You work out 3 times a week, and over the course of 2 weeks, your workouts will flip back and forth. So in week 1, if we're talking about Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it would be Monday workout A, Wednesday workout B, then Friday workout A again, and then that would be reversed in the second week. Now, what makes this program so effective for noobs is kind of the phases that he walks through. He starts by giving you a very basic setup where workout A is the squat, press, and deadlift, and then workout B is the squat, bench press, and deadlift. And he says this phase lasts maybe 2 to 3 weeks after the freshness of the deadlift has worn off, because you'll be adding maybe 5 pounds to your squat and bench press and maybe 10 pounds to your deadlift. It's kind of dependent on how untrained you are, but if you want to prolong the use of this program, maybe going lower, 5 pounds per each, adding 5 pounds each time, you know, if you want to keep things going longer, or 10 pounds if you feel like you have a lot of room to reach before you actually start stalling out. So that's the first phase. In the second phase, the power clean is introduced. So workout A is the squat, press, and deadlift. That's the same as the first phase, but in workout B, you have squat, bench press, and power clean. So not only are you alternating between press and bench press, you're also alternating between deadlift and power clean as well. In phase 3, workout A is squat, press, deadlift / bench press, meaning that in between alternations of workout A, you're actually going to alternate deadlift and power clean. So in phase 1, if you think about it, you were doing deadlift twice a week, maybe once a week. In phase 2, you were doing deadlift once a week, or yes, deadlift once a week, power clean once a week. Phase 3, you may not be doing deadlift every week. So that's how this kind of varies out. It's just kind of spacing apart these exercises to make sure that you don't burn out too quickly. And then chin-ups and pull-ups are introduced, and that's in workout B, along with back extensions. So I think the progression is very good for someone who is completely untrained. That is the key word there. Now, the next thing I want to say is I believe that even if you don't follow this program, I believe every untrained novice should own the starting strength materials. And that includes this book, dun, 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 and this DVD. And the reason for that is it has some of the best explanations and most thorough information you could ever want to read or know about the biomechanics of how to perform the main lifts and the gear that you will need and progression and all of that good stuff as an untrained novice. I mean, for example, the starting strength book, it doesn't even go into the ret sets and the progression until page 291. It is like an over 300-page book, and it doesn't even touch that stuff until 291. And also, the DVD, it goes through all of the exercises that are in starting strength, including the squat, press, bench press, deadlift, and power clean. And it is tutorials and his actual personal sessions with people in there. And there's even this one old lady that's about to squat, and you're like, oh my God, is this old woman actually going to squat? And then she does it, and you're like, damn, lady. So that's pretty awesome. Now, up until this point, you've been thinking, this is great. You're a cheerleader for them. It's all rainbows and unicorns, right? No, not. I don't advocate everything in here. So there are a couple reasons why I don't like starting strength. Number one, squatting every single session. That sucks. And the main reason I say that is because I did starting strength for a few months. I did it until I wore it out, and I probably did it way too long. But I squatted every single session, and it got to the point where my legs were getting so developed, I started ripping my boxer shorts during workout sessions. So there's that. Your legs are going to be so well developed that if you feel like you have a lot of room to develop your legs, then fine. But me, they were already pretty well developed, and adding even more development onto that meant that I was bulging at the seams, literally. Now, the next thing I don't like about starting strength, and this is in terms of the nutrition advice. Mark Ripto, again, everything he advocates is for performance, for athleticism, and it's not for looking pretty. Whereas some of the things I talk about, I like to actually build my body in terms of having some nice abs, having a nice well-rounded physique, but everything in nutrition in the book is aimed at getting you stronger. And that means he doesn't care about you having abs, and he doesn't care about you having a nice looking beach body. It's all about putting on muscle and mass so that you can move more weight. And some of the things he says in there that really go against what typical bodybuilding and is typically advocates is eat around 3,500 to 6,000 calories a day. He just says that outright. He doesn't know very much about you, but he says that's commonly what you might eat to gain 10 to 15 pounds in a couple weeks. I can tell you right now, 10 to 15 pounds in a couple weeks. The majority of that is going to be body fat, okay? You're not putting on that much muscle in 2 weeks. He also talks about the GOMAD diet, gallon of milk a day. If you really want to put on mass, drink a gallon of milk a day. That's a very old school mentality that's just purely based on strength, putting on mass. I know that football players in high school might do that sort of thing. So those are very good reasons why I don't like starting strength. Now, so I guess my final recommendation is I do think starting strength is a fantastic program for what it is meant to do, which is build muscle as fast as possible in a very short period of time until you actually wear out the program. That is what it's meant for completely untrained novices. So if you want a good starting point, and I would say even if you don't do the program, get the book and the DVD because they are so thorough. You will learn so much. You'll be a genius compared to everybody else in the gym, and you'll know how to build muscle for yourself in a way that will surpass anything that you have known before you even touch these things seriously. Okay? So starting strength, good program. Don't like the squatting every day. Nutrition advice, not so good. But overall, it's a great program, and I do recommend it. So to see the official post to go along with this video, where I include links and all sorts of things, I even go through all those rep schemes and whatnot, go to noobgains.com/starting-strength-review. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on a podcast, go to noobgains.com/iTunes and leave me a review on the iTunes listing. I'd really appreciate that. So that's all for now. Keep making gains, noobs. Later.